A Karen tried to repossess my car because I didn't look rich enough to own it. I was standing in the parking lot of a high-end grocery store, holding 2 bags of frozen pizza and a 6-pack of soda. I was wearing my favorite bum outfit, a faded gray hoodie, gym shorts, and flip-flops. I hadn't shaved in 3 days because I'd been pulling all-nighters to finish a freelance coding contract. To anyone passing by, I looked like a college student who just crawled out of bed. What they didn't see was the key fob in my pocket for the matte black Porsche 911 Turbo S parked in front of me. I'd bought it 3 months ago after my first startup was acquired. It was my one vanity purchase, and I treated it like my firstborn. As I reached for the door handle, a shrill voice cut through the air. "Excuse me, get away from that vehicle right now." I turned to see a woman in her late 50s, wearing a tennis outfit that probably cost more than my first car and holding a designer handbag like a weapon. Let's call her Mrs. Sterling. "Can I help you?" I asked, keeping my voice level. "Help me? You can help me by putting those bags down and stepping away from that car before I call the police," she barked. She was already digging into her bag for her phone. "I know exactly whose car this is, and it certainly isn't yours." I blinked. "You know whose car this is? It belongs to Mr. Henderson, the CEO of the development firm down the street," she said smugly. "I see him driving it every morning. You're clearly a valet who decided to take a joyride, or worse, you're trying to steal it." I almost laughed. Mr. Henderson was my neighbor, and he drove a silver Lexus. He didn't even like Porsches. "Ma'am, you're mistaken. This is my car. Now, if you'll excuse me, my pizza is melting." I turned back to the car and pressed the unlock button. The lights flashed, and the mirrors folded out. Mrs. Sterling gasped as if I just slapped her. She lunged forward, grabbing my arm. "Don't you dare. I'm not letting a little thug like you ruin such a beautiful machine. Give me those keys." "Get your hands off me," I said, my voice dropping an octave. I've learned from years of being the quiet kid that sometimes you have to sound like the person they're afraid of just to get them to listen. She didn't let go. Instead, she started screaming. "Help! Police! This man is stealing a car! Someone help!" A security guard from the store started jogging over. Mrs. Sterling looked triumphant. "Oh, you're in for it now. I'm going to make sure you never work in this town again." The guard, a guy named Mike, who I'd chatted with a few times while grabbing late-night snacks, arrived looking confused. "Everything okay here?" "Officer, thank goodness," Mrs. Sterling shrieked. "This boy is trying to steal this Porsche. I caught him red-handed. He even has a fake key fob." Mike looked at me, then at the car, then back at her. "Ma'am, this is Leo. He's a regular here. I don't care if he buys his cheap frozen dinners here," she yelled. "Look at him. Does he look like he can afford a $200,000 car? He's a thief. I demand you detain him while I call the real owner." She actually pulled out her phone and started dialing. I stood there, arms crossed, waiting. I knew where this was going. "Yes, hello? I need to report a grand theft auto at the Whole Foods on 5th. Yes, a young man in a hoodie is trying to drive off in a black Porsche. No, I'm positive it's not his. He looks homeless." 10 minutes later, 2 squad cars pulled up, sirens off, but lights flashing. 2 officers stepped out. Mrs. Sterling practically tripped over herself running toward them. "Officers, finally, he's right there. He tried to assault me when I stopped him from stealing this car." The lead officer, a veteran with a tired expression, walked up to me. "Sir, can I see your ID and registration?" "Of course," I said. I pulled my wallet out of my hoodie pocket and handed over my license. Then I opened the car door, ignoring Mrs. Sterling's "He's breaking in" scream and grabbed the registration from the glove box. The officer looked at the documents. He looked at the car. Then he looked at Mrs. Sterling. "Ma'am, the registration matches the license. This is Mr. Leo's vehicle." Mrs. Sterling's face went from bright red to a ghostly white. That's impossible. The system must be wrong. Check again. He probably stole the identity of the real owner." "The real owner is standing right here," I said, stepping closer. "And since you told the dispatcher I assaulted you, which the security cameras and Mike here can disprove, I'd like to press charges for filing a false police report and harassment." The officer nodded. "Ma'am, you lied to a 911 dispatcher and attempted to physically restrain a citizen. Turn around and put your hands behind your back." As the handcuffs clicked into place, Mrs. Sterling started wailing about how she was just being a good citizen and protecting the neighborhood. "Next time," I said as the officer led her toward the squad car, "try minding your own business. It's free, and you don't look rich enough to afford the alternative." I got into my car, the engine purring perfectly. As I drove away, I saw her being pushed into the back seat of the cruiser. I went home, ate my semi-melted pizza, and felt pretty good about the bum outfit. It really helps you see who people actually are.